After all these years of training, it's becoming more and more clear to me that this is not very complicated at all. Uh, it's funny how it works. You get immersed into a topic, into a subject for such a long time, and then at the end of it, you realize that this whole thing, after zooming in for such a long time, you realize the simplicity of it all. The bottom line is, it depends on what your goal is really, but let's say my goal is to get stronger under the bar, to get stronger with these 3 lifts, 4 or 5 lifts, whatever. The bottom line is putting in the work, right? And we all know what the work is, it's been well kind of defined over the years. Spend the majority of your time between 75 and 85%, or even if you want to go 70 and 85%. If you can tolerate it, go to 90%. Spend the majority of time in that range with good quality work. Sometimes go to failure, sometimes go with 1 rep in the tank. Do as much as you can. Do as much as you can without getting hurt. It's simple as that, man. It's simple as that. I've had amazing periods in all lifts, really. With the squat and the deadlift, they're kind of married together with the little hip trouble that I've had. The bench press, every time, historically speaking, I pushed, the elbow would start to kind of get hurt, and your body kind of sends you signals, all right, let's not do this today. And then through just the experience of pain and discomfort, your motivation kind of tapers out, and that's it. Unless you're really crazy about something, you're probably going to give up. So if you can find that little path to get the desired volume, which is well defined, without any side effects, given enough time, you will improve. It's simple as that. Now, having said that, that's the goal, but to get there, it's complicated in the sense of discovering that which will allow you to attain that. So for me, the bench press, I feel like, I just had another good session, 140 for 5 sets of 2. No pains, no strains, no discomfort, just good old hard yak. Just lots of freaking quality reps at a percentage where I know if I get 10 to 20 repetitions in that range a few times a week, I'm going to improve. It's just, there's no way you won't. Lots of people have spoken about this. It's very clear. The freaking Soviets back in the day studied 4 Olympic cycles, and they worked out that the majority of successful lifters, guys who are medaling, have spent the majority of their time in that 75 to 85% range, right? So can you do that? Can you do it? Naturally speaking, you need to be very crafty to kind of manipulate all these training variables, exercise selection, warm-up, accessories, prehab, rehab, all that stuff. You need to manipulate all of these things to allow you to get that work. If you're not natural, I guess sprinkle in some more pharmacology stuff, and you will shorten the curves on the graph of recovery. But that's kind of where I'm at mentally right now. I know very well that if I could do the same thing that I'm doing with my bench press in the squat, I know that the squat will improve. I've had periods where, I've spent 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that, working with 5s, started 160, ended up with 190 for sets of 5. All gravy, all awesome, feeling fantastic. And then I'll lose it. I'll lose something happens in the body, and the pain starts. The first day you're like, it's fine, you don't believe it, so you push. And then it gets more intense gradually over the next few days. And then you find yourself driving to work, and then you're like, damn, I'm struggling here, man. I can't even make it to work without 5, 6 out of 10 pain, 7 out of 10 pain. As soon as I get out of the car, it subsides. Walking around feels great. Sitting, 90 degree hip, 90 degree knee. Man, that is uncomfortable. So I'm hopeful. I didn't set any goals this year at all. I couldn't care less about the goals. My goal is to find it. And the it for me is what I found with the bench press, the hammer. Rotation through the wrist, every which way, makes whatever structures happy in the forearm, maybe even the freaking bicep, because if you think about it, the bicep also supinates when your elbow is at 90 degrees. So there's musculature there which is responsible for rotation of the forearm, which keeps the elbow happy. Happy elbows, lots of bench press volume. Lots of bench press volume, bench press goes up. Very simple formula. Very simple. So you can see how the goal was achieved not through bench pressing, but through this thing that I'm doing to allow it. So, it's a cascade which starts off with health. Some people, and I know I'm convinced of this, some people out there who are very, very successful, they've found themselves in a equation where they've worked out exactly the ratios of whatever the thing that helps them, and they do it. So if they want to increase the squat even more aggressively, they need to overdose more on that thing. Whatever the exercise is, whatever the prehab is, whatever it is. I'm yet to find that with squatting. I have a few things that kind of work. But the marching is probably the closest thing to it. It makes me feel good. It alleviates the pain. And that's really, really good. The trouble with it, though, is the more I do it, the weaker I get. It's really weird. Like with the hammer stuff, I can literally go nuts with it, and it does not affect the bench press. It's the forearm. I don't have to grip the damn bar. It's resting in my hands. So it doesn't affect my benching at all. My benching gets tired from benching. Hip flexor work, though, it is so paramount in the stability of your lower back that if I fry my freaking hip flexors, let's say I come in today, I really want to push the squats and I go crazy with hip flexors, I'll be weaker in the squat. So I kind of wish I can find something which can go hand in hand with the squat, and I can just go freaking berserk with it, and it doesn't impact my ability to squat. That would be really cool. So I'm kind of hopeful to find that. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm getting warmer and warmer and warmer. The GHD is also like the hip flexor work. It makes me feel amazing. It allows me to squat really, really heavy with no trouble at all. And if I do the GHD like I did yesterday, I do 10 sets of 20. Yes, for the next 20 minutes, I'm lit up in the lower back, but then that kind of washes away that I can squat. And that effect is so positive to me that it unlocks at a higher level of squatting for me. And I feel like the pain outweighs the deficit of the pump and the pre-fatigue that I get from the GHD. And so, it's a win. I'm fatigued, but I'm pain-free, and therefore, because I'm pain-free, I can squat better than if I came in not fatigued but with pain. So it's kind of weird, and that's the bottom line, man. The bench press seems to be happening naturally to me. I can only imagine if I continue like this, which I will. It is refreshing to have something just come easily to me now for once. I can't imagine after 12 months of benching that I'm not going to improve. I can't imagine a state like that because I'm putting so much freaking volume into the bench press. And the bench press gives me hope that I'll be able to find something like that for squatting as well. I'll keep, trying things out. I'll keep messing around. every once in a while I'll have a really heavy session. I'll do the hip flexor work, have a really heavy session, and then for the next 3-4 days I'll have to really overdose on hip flexors to keep the pain away. But that's kind of where I'm at. And the reason why I have not deadlifting either is because I've identified that the portion of the deadlift which I struggle off most is off the floor. That off the floor business is awfully like squatting, that push. So I'm having trouble with the pushing with the knees 90 degrees. So I need to address that, and then once the squat keeps going, starts to go up, the deadlift will go up as well. And that's been my experience. Squat goes up, everything goes up in terms of like deadlifts and RDLs and all that stuff. So I'm hopeful that I can find the hammer equivalent for the lower body. For now, I can't wait for the GHD to get here, and I'll just absolutely go bonkers at that, because that is one lower body exercise that I can literally go nuts on, absolutely nuts on. It seems like the more I do it, the better it is. So looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys. Like always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.